How is everybody doing? This is my first ever fantasy football video, and I'm doing the top 5 running backs that you can draft right out the get-go. I mean, I have Justin Forsett at number 5. You're probably wondering, where's Marshawn Lynch at? I don't have him. I think Justin Forsett is a very good sleeper, but let's get on to the stats. Last year, Justin Forsett put up 1,266 rushing yards, 1,529 total yards, 8 rushing touchdowns, and compiled a nice 189 fantasy points. Now that is a very good. That's a very good stat line, especially for a guy that was playing on a team that wasn't very good, and he's been coming off injuries. He hasn't been the most healthy player out there. But yeah, as you can see, he's been running very well. He's been following his blocking very, very well. He's a very speedy and elusive back. He's pretty small, which kind of helps him get through tacklers. I think he's going to be a very good sleeper to get in like the 4th or 5th round, just because he's not a very big name. So that's why I have him over Marshawn Lynch. Obviously, Marshawn Lynch is going to go in the 1st round, so I probably shouldn't. There really is no need to really say him. I just wanted to let you guys know about Justin Forsett, possibly the best sleeper in the draft. At number 4, we have Jeremy Hill. Man, what an amazing breakout rookie year he had. Man, I thought he was one of the best running. He's a top 5 running back in my opinion in the NFL. That's why he's on the list. Last year he put up 1,124 total rushing yards, 1,339 total yards of offense, 9 rushing touchdowns, and 171 fantasy points. And he didn't start every single week. I believe he did play every single week, but he didn't start every single week. Giovanni Bernard was starting over Jeremy Hill, and as you see, this is his 85-yard touchdown run against the Denver Broncos, I was watching that play live on TV when that happened. That was an amazing play. Jeremy Hill is a big power back. The reason I have him at number 4 is he's going to get you a bunch of fantasy points. Power backs always get you a bunch of fantasy points. You're going to put him in at the 1-yard line situation, and he's going to get those tough touchdowns for you. And that's very, very nice to have. He's also got some speed on him, so he's going to put up these big runs. He's not the best receiver out of the backfield, but I do think he'll have a little bit of impact in that category. As you see, he's another one of those guys that follows his block. I love the way Jeremy Hill runs. He runs very similar to the way Eddie Lacy and DeMarco Murray runs, as you'll see DeMarco Murray later on in this list. But yeah, Jeremy Hill, man, him and Alfred Blue, both LSU guys, coming in and playing very well in their rookie years. That makes LSU look good. Yeah, I can't say it enough. I love Jeremy Hill. I couldn't get him in my draft, unfortunately, but yeah, he's a very good guy to go after. You'd probably get him in like the 3rd or 4th round even, because not a lot of people know about Jeremy Hill. I mean, yeah, obviously there are a lot of people that do know about him, but still there's a lot of people that still don't know about Jeremy Hill yet. So that's why I do think he will have a huge impact on your team if you can get him in the 3rd or 4th round, and you can put him at like the flex or something, as you see all these highlights of him just running people over. Number 3, we're going to have Jamal Charles. Man, he's getting older, but he's still an amazing back. Last year he put up 1,033 rushing yards, 1,324 total yards, and 14 total touchdowns. Man, he is a touchdown machine, and put up 197 fantasy points last year. He's a very speedy and elusive back. We all know Jamal Charles is going to go in the 1st round, if not maybe early 2nd round. But he is a very good player to have on your team. I actually have him in my fantasy team. I did a couple trades, and he's at my flex. I have DeMarco Murray, Matt Forte, and Jamal Charles. Yeah, I don't know how I got them, but I just do. Jamal Charles, very good back. He's not the best power back, but he's a good receiving back, which I think makes up for that. And he can break off those big runs, as you see right here. He does against the Cardinals. And and he's is right here. You can see he's a very big part in the passing game, breaking off tackles, using his speed to his advantage. There are a couple clips in here of him getting plays at the 1 yard line. You can put in Jamal Charles there, but usually you would want to put in a more powerful back. But the Chiefs don't really have that. They don't really have a power back. They have DeAnthony Thomas, Niall Davis, and Jamal Charles as their running backs. It's not really power. It's all speed. So I would think you're going to get a lot of touchdowns. Jamal Charles, this Chiefs offense, Alex Smith is an okay quarterback, but when you have a guy like Jamal Charles, you're just going to want to run the football with Jamal whenever you get the chance. As you see, he just tears up defenses, getting touchdowns. He has scored the most touchdowns out of anybody on this list, actually, last year. So he's not a bad choice to take. He doesn't get the most yards. Man, my bad. He doesn't get the most yards, but he does get a lot of touchdowns. As you see here, they use him on a bubble screen, and that works out to their advantage. Well, it was more like a wide receiver screen. Number 2, we're going to have Matt Forte. Man, what an amazing all-around back. He's an all-down back, very durable. He's not the fastest back, not the most powerful back, but he just does everything right. Last year he had 1,038 rushing yards, 1,864 total yards. That's 808 receiving yards. I'll let you know. It's better than a lot of receivers. 10 total touchdowns and 231 fantasy points. That is an amazing running back. That is a guy that you want to get in the first round. I managed getting him in like the 3rd round, actually, in my draft. I don't know how I managed to do that. Maybe because there's only 6 teams in my draft. I don't know. But I'm playing 2 leagues, so my first draft I got Matt Forte in like the 3rd round. So that's a pretty good steal. Man, he is such an amazing running back. As you see here, he follows his blocks. He's a very smart running back. He knows what he's doing. He's a veteran on the team. And with a guy like John Fox coming in, that's only going to help him in his offensive ways. John Fox is only going to help his game get better. I definitely like him better than Mark Trestman. Trestman was a good offensive coach, but I think Fox is a one step better, a step forward. When you think about offensive beasts. If you can manage to get Matt Forte in like the 2nd round, your team is going to be successful, because if your running back's getting 231 fantasy points, that's pretty freaking amazing. He does run a lot at the 1 yard line, so you don't have to worry about him not running the football at the 1 yard line. He's fast, and he's got power. Not the most speed, not the most power, but he's a balanced running back, and he can receive. Like I've said this before, very good back, very, very, very good back. He might actually be the number 1 back from last year. As you saw in the intro, I did not put Le'Veon Bell in this list. So pretty much because I said this video is mainly right out the get-go, and Le'Veon Bell suspended for a few games, so he's not a guy you want to get right out the get-go because he's suspended, obviously. But you definitely draft him in the earlier rounds and then get guys to replace him. At number 1, we're going to have DeMarco Murray. Man, what an amazing year he had last year. 1,845 rushing yards. 2,261 total yards of offense. That's ridiculous. 13 rushing touchdowns and 282 fantasy points. Man, you're talking about a guy that's just he's so fast, so powerful. He'll run over players and he'll run around players. He's an amazing all-down back. He's pretty good at receiving too. Not the best, but he can still do it. He had around 400-something yards. He had 416 receiving yards last year, which isn't bad. DeMarco Murray definitely follows his blocks. The only problem I'd have with DeMarco Murray, though, is his how he's going to hold on to the football. And in Philadelphia, they don't really have any pass. They have Sam Bradford at quarterback. They don't really have any playmaker receivers as of yet. Nelson Aguilar was drafted. The Eagles drafted Nelson Aguilar in the draft. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and peace out.